So today I'm on the hatch problem, and I think that from yesterday I realized, maybe you can't see it, but can you see the rope is very taut when there is the maximum separation between the two panels. Therefore I think if I was to slacken this a bit, maybe this panel, the inner panel, would be able to slide all the way at the end, and therefore not have the blockage which we experienced yesterday. So I'll give it a try with this new rope I made, and we'll see how it goes. So yeah, I basically understood that the rope was too tight yesterday, and with an untight rope I can get it to the, you can see the white marks there, maximum aperture, and the only thing that's preventing it from going down more is the handle, but at this position it just blocks every time. It's almost impossible now to get it back up. I have to toil some other 20-30 minutes just to unblock it. Don't know what's blocking it. Well, I managed to rip off a thin piece of wire from the thing, from the hatchet. Now I'm trying something a bit thicker, so hopefully it's going to work. Also, I was thinking not to be decapitated every time by the closing hatchet. I was thinking of putting two magnets, so maybe one magnet here, then one in the center, and then one on the side. And every time it rolls, comes down to here, have other magnets like in the center and there to slow down the fall, or maybe a spring system so that when it comes down it's going to slow down a bit. Yeah, I just realized that this is quite too thick and not very malleable, or ductile probably, that's the best terminology for it. So I'll try using something like this. See that this belongs to the vacuum cleaner. I'll try to find one of these downstairs. Still like 4 or 5 times thicker than the white one. So hopefully that will do the trick. I'll go find one downstairs. Ciao! So elaborating on the previous argument, we see that when the two panels are closed, therefore when there isn't this gap of sunlight, and that panel is just adjacent to the end of that panel there, over there, we're going to see that the inner panel has to travel a distance which is double the distance of that panel.
to reach there. So basically I want at the end, if I want the complete hatchet to be with sunshine, I want this end to get all the way up there. And with the ratchet that I'm putting there, I'm gonna make this panel travel a distance 2d in a time t, whereas this panel is gonna just travel the distance, well, I can treat it in distances of panels. So this panel is gonna travel 2 panel distance, whereas this panel is gonna travel a 1 panel distance all the way down there. And this should allow for, at a specific time, this panel and this panel to stop exactly at the same time there. This will only be achieved if the mechanism which I put here has a circumference for the big ratchet which is connected to the small panel. Circumference being 2 times the circumference of the smaller one, so that every revolution I make, this panel travels a distance which is double that one. And I have no more thoughts for the moment. Keep you updated. So also, coming back always to the ratchet thing, I can think that we're going to need to put some cylinders all the way up here. This part is unimportant, so I can have wires tripping all around it. Just so as to not have wires dangling from there to the panel, like transversal. I want them to be attached to the dome. I can do it, I can drill a hole in that piece of wood, because these are extruding from the actual dome. Put a cylinder that will allow the support. It will support the thread or wire linked to the ratchet and the panel. Then it will go there. I'm thinking of putting another cylinder there, maybe not exactly where there's the spherical part, but maybe there. And then have another cylinder at the end of this panel. Maybe instead of the... not instead of the hook. So I'll put a panel just there where there's the hook, so that then it can do the transmission to this panel, and I'm going to attach the rope which is on the 2C circumference cylinder onto that handle. Yeah, it actually just came to me that I don't think that panel was ever meant to go all the way up and past that line. I think that to be able to have the telescope looking in this direction, it's this panel that has to go down. I mean, this panel, I've already tried, goes down all the way. And then you would have, if you wanted to see the sky from here to here, then you would lift this panel up to this part being here. That's the maximum I would make it go up. And to then see this side, you would have to make that panel go down, make this border touch here, come out and touch there. So frankly, the whole idea of connecting these two and making this one slide all the way to the top, to then make this one slide all the way to the top to be able to see that, is useless. I mean, I'd have to find a way so that, okay, what are we interested in? We're interested in seeing this part of the sky. Therefore, this panel goes up until where we need it to go up. And this panel, when I want to see this part of the sky, I want to make this panel go down. Interesting. And I only just realized it. And it's not even Monday. Yeah, and I'm gonna write my last panel for the day. I wrote 4 panels, which are pretty good ideas, but just doesn't work, because you're gonna be getting top panel up, no problem. Then when this inner panel goes up as well, it always blocks, so no matter what you do to it. So defo different idea. Probably gonna make, instead of a central string connecting, I'm gonna make a shaft at one end, which controls the movement of the outer panel, and the shaft at the other end controlling the movement of the inner panel. At the same time, do I really need a shaft for that? I mean, there's a handle on the thing for the inner one to push up, and since the inner one I think only needs a point at which I can block it, because I don't want it to just slide back down and kill me. Whereas for the outer one, to get it moving, I don't want to get it moving down. How would you do that? How do you do that? The ratchet there is no, on the other side there's no significance because I want to push it down. I'll pull it up. Yeah, so now I understand why there is a handle on that. It's basically because of that. So in operation mode, we're talking about the inner panel having to be pushed up to see one portion, a quarter of the dome, whereas the outer panel, its purpose is to be pushed down in operation mode, so that I can see the other quartile of the sky. I'm thinking of the way how to do that. Inner panel, no problem, just have to fix it once I push it up with the handle. Although a mechanism would be nice. Whereas the outer one is giving me problems. If I have a central pulley on the panel, placed exactly in the center, then I can have a wire going around it. One of the wires is fixed to one end of the dome. The other wire instead would be connected to another pulley close to the entrance. So then when I pull that part of the pulley, the upper panel would come down. Yes. And how do I get it back up? So I've got the coming down part. Getting it back up. Or getting it back up, you would just need another pulley the opposite direction with a crank. I don't want to do that. That's too much.